Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's event. I'm Laura Dillon with MS Dynamics World, and we're here today for a session to learn how Dynamics 365 customers are improving business insights with CPQ. Our presenters today are Tarina McClellan and Rayad Majid with Cincom, and it's really my pleasure to welcome them both here with us today. So as we get started, please know that we do welcome your questions. You can feel free to type those in at any time during their presentation and demo in the Q&A or chat box that you'll see in your GoToWebinar interface. And someone from the Cincom team will be following up with you individually after the session. So Tarina, without any further delay, I'm going to hand things off to you to get us started.
Well, excellent. It's really a pleasure to be here at this webinar and present this interesting topic to all of you. All right, for those of you who do not know who Cincom is, we've been bringing software and services to businesses for over 50 years. Our business solutions have helped customers and partners drive better experiences to their prospects, customers, and partners. Cincom began in database technology more than 50 years ago. The company expanded to ERP and later realized that there was needs in intelligence and complex quoting to prepare information to pass to ERP as orders. Cincom has been providing CPQ solutions to all kinds of businesses for around 30 years now, and becoming a Microsoft partner along the way. Cincom does offer significant offerings on Azure and inside Dynamics CE, including cloud hosting services. Today, we'll be looking at the reports and data that you can access and utilize for important business decisions using Power BI and Cincom CPQ. Cincom CPQ for Microsoft Dynamics is completely embedded Microsoft Dynamics 365 solution and is designed to improve the selling process and level up the intel that leadership can gain from standardizing the configure, price, and quoting activities so that all sales reps use the same rules and product offerings. From the first phone call to the presentation of the proposal and related documents, Cincom CPQ brings product knowledge, pricing rules, and quoting requirements to one complete selling application. So what is CPQ? Even though I think CPQ is a household name and that everybody in business knows what it is, I still get the question a lot, what is CPQ? Well, CPQ helps businesses quote the most complex products and services by capturing the how and presenting it to the user to bring definition to items and services with much less administration and touches by various functions in the organization. Product definition is done through a guided series of questions, which aids in the user selecting the right product without bringing in engineering and other busy resources. Pricing can have guardrails around it so that approvals in queue time are minimized. Quotes and other documents are created using dynamic templates specific to the business's needs. The C is for configure, of course. The product knowledge and specifications are built in using rules and calculations, which can be a great source of deep product data for users of all kinds of analysis, from forklifts to insurance policies to ships to managed IT services and earth movers. All kinds of products are configured every day to meet customer demands. The P, of course, is for pricing. A business can have so many options in pricing. They can set up their pricing strategy to follow cost plus, value-based, competitive, or a combination of those and other pricing scenarios. This is key to ensuring the business needs are met and they meet their margin goals. Q is for quote, bringing all those calculations, product definition, and pricing into a professional looking document. Output, either in Word or PDF, is that final letter. So that's CPQ in a nutshell. Bringing all the knowledge under one umbrella, Cincom CPQ for Dynamics extends the investment in Microsoft and creates a vehicle to produce fast quotes right from the Dynamics UI. CPQ brings so much value to almost every area of a business. Just as a few examples, CPQ eases the sales process by making quoting accessible to the less experienced user and allows them to quote without being a product expert. As the methods and data come from engineering and production, alignment between these areas is improved greatly. Customers get a better experience through faster response times, better information, and even being able to create their own quotes for an e-commerce site. Errors can be eliminated by reducing the margin for error as the methods to configure and price are built into the system. The efficiency improvements are huge with a properly implemented CPQ solution. With less reviews, less approvals, and the consolidated nature of all the parts and pieces that are needed to provide a complex quote. Cincom, as a Microsoft partner, delivers a Microsoft Azure native multi-tenant solution fully embedded within Microsoft Dynamics, which means no pop-ups or extra logins to external tools, which is a positive for everyone, I think. It uses Dynamics 365 single sign-on for that, supports a unified interface for the latest Dynamics experience, uses Power Automate, and that's the application formerly known as Flow, to automate data in and out of the app. It leverages Dynamics for workflow in rules and quoting, and it's available on Microsoft AppSource. Okay, so what does a company do with all this data? Getting more granular with quote data to level up KPI analysis is a big driver for companies that are deciding to move into a CPQ application. Information on sales rep performance, sales cycles, and deal volume are all typical out-of-the-box metrics that are derived from CPQ. But there's so much more in the vault of information created by curated product configurations, advanced pricing options, quoting breakdowns that can be accessed and exposed through Microsoft Power BI. Analysts and leaderships can ask different questions such as, are my margins where I want them to be? Or what product is being most quoted in the Northeast region, for example? What is the revenue by product forecast for the third quarter? Forecasting is a big deal. So these questions and more can be answered by business intelligence from Cincom CPQ. And now I'm going to pass it on to Ryad, and he's going to get into some of those data points that might spark more questions to individuals looking for better business intel from CPQ. So Ryad, take it away.
Thank you, Tarina, and thank you everybody for joining us in today's webcast. Like Tarina mentioned, our Cincom CPQ, it comes embedded with Dynamics 365. So when we look at your overall tech stack, seeing Cincom CPQ working with your CRM, and then also with your ERP, no matter what your ERP is, in this case, we will also see that Cincom have a number of APIs that are not just used for integrations, but we also, one of the ones that is most important that we're going to be talking about today is the Cincom Analytics API. Cincom Analytics API will help you leverage the data, all the wealth of data that is collected as your users and customers are using your system. That data you can actually take into your data warehouse and mix it and merge it with other data that is resourcing from your CRM system or from your ERP or other systems. And then you would be using your BI analytics visualizations tool like Power BI, or which we're going to be looking at as an example today, or other tools. Or at the same time, you could actually connect those data visualization and BI tools directly to Cincom data and use them out of the box as is. When we look at the data, there is so much wealth of data that we're going to look into and explore again, that is generated as your users are using the system. Those data can help you drive product decisions using customer demand data. They will allow you to discover what customer needs and create appealing product offering, allow you to implement the pricing strategies and drive up the profits, allow you to monitor margins, margin leakage, and price realization, and also see how your network of reseller and distributor and direct sales, also your e-commerce is actually performing within the whole network of sales. So when we look at the data that actually is generated by your Cincom CPQ, we will see configuration, your product configuration selection data. We will see the win and loss to proposals data, any discounts that were given, sales bill of material, manufacturing BOM data, master products data, margins data, pricing levels, transactional data, quote lifecycle, quote versions, product bundle sold, product and options pricing data, product and option costing data, profit data, quotes and order data, workflow events, customer configuration, and order history. So all of those data that are initiated and created by Cincom CPQ while your users are interacting with our system will be available to you to leverage and slice and dice and create more insights from that. And there are many data sets that you could actually extract from the various data sources that I just mentioned. But just to give you some examples of what analytics data sets that you will be able to create out of this. You will be able to have a product and options of pricing realization. You will have margins trending, profit trending, cost trending, profitability, pricing, product and options popularity, price premium trending, quotes and orders lifecycle, dynamic and value-based pricing, impact and value. And you would have all of this by channel, by product, by year, by quarter, and by month. So again, like Torina mentioned, our Cincom CPQ comes embedded and can be accessed right from within your Dynamics implementation. That way, your users would not need to learn completely new systems, and it would also help user adoption by keeping your user working within one system. In this example, we're going to take a look at a manufacturing company who manufacture heavy machinery. So they sell heavy machinery, and they also sell different options and attachments for those machinery. They have a network of resellers or distributors, and they also have direct sales. They use Cincom CPQ embedded within Dynamics, and they also use Cincom Analytics, CPQ Analytics API. What we're going to look today is we're going to look at some aspects of how they configure their product, and then move right away to the API dashboard. But if you have an interest in learning more and knowing more about Cincom CPQ, please be looking for another webcast that will have more information about how to use Cincom CPQ configurator with a link in the details. So now, as a user for Cincom CPQ, I would be working with Microsoft Dynamics 365. I would be coming here to create a new quote. I will give it a name. I would set my price list, and then I will go and use customer. I would save my quote. All the work that I'm doing now is still within Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics. So now that I have saved my quote, so as a user, when once I save, I will notice that there are two buttons that were added to my view in Microsoft Dynamics, and those represent Cincom CPQ. The first one is to configure and add products, and the other one is to generate proposals. So let's go ahead and start configuring a product. Once I hit configure, I would be presented by the product catalog. I would use the CNC machine to configure. I would add it to my quote. And when I come here, I will see a number of models that I can choose from. I will choose one of those models. I will add it to my quote, and then I will start the configuration for that machine. And you will see that there are different groups that I can select from to customize my machine. So as an example, in spindles, I'll use the 10,000. Tool changer, I have one selected for me. I'm going to change that too, and so on for all the other components. As I go through and make the changes for different selections for my quote, and I will see that Microsoft Cincom CPQ is actually maintaining a shopping cart for me that is capturing all my selections. So if I click on that and take a look and see, I will see the model, the machine that I selected, and I will see all the options that I have selected also. What we can see here is we can see that the system is capturing the quantity of each, the cost, the list price, manual discount percentage, if I'm going to give any discount on the spot. So, and it calculates my margins, the sales price, the extended price, and all the other data. And as I said in the beginning, if you're looking for more information about the configurator, please be looking for another webcast that address that. But for today, I'm gonna switch now over to Microsoft BI to see how the data that I used in configuration will play out in dashboards. All right, so now let's take a look at and see how the data that Cincom CPQ have captured can be used and organized in order to drive more insights once you get to know what's happening in your network of resellers, in your e-commerce and direct sales and what have you. So as I mentioned, this is an example of the manufacturer that we just looked into how they do configure their products. And they have, again, a network of resellers, and they have also direct sales. So here, there's a dashboard that is talking about sales performance. Now, this is just one example of how you can visualize the data. Your interest may be in having different widgets or different angles and aspects of the data. Again, this is just one example. The possibilities are limitless, since again, you have all this data. So for sales performance, for example, I'm looking at like a peak view of my number of orders, the total sales, and the overall margin year to date. I see my sales by channel. I see my sales by sales rep, and I see my average margin by product, and I see my sales by product, and I see my sales by options. Of course, this was built with Microsoft Power BI. And as you can see, like you could actually, it's interactive. So if I would go and hit on reseller, then all the data or all the widget will actually reflect the reseller network. And if I switch to direct sales, same thing will happen. All widgets will actually filter to my selection within that sales channel, including number of orders and year-to-date sales and things like that. And I can do that for any level. So even if I go now for a particular sales rep, I can see their average margin by product, their sales by product, and their sales by options. And since we mentioned that this manufacturer have a reseller network, they have also created a reseller scorecard. So the reseller scorecard will have the sales by a reseller, the sales by product groups, and the sales by options, reseller sales rep, sales by reseller, and average margin by reseller. Same idea goes in that if you click on any of the resellers, then the list of the data will filter for that reseller, and you're going to have a view from that point of that reseller. Another dashboard they have is for their direct sales, kind of similar to what their resellers have. And again, this is just to show the variety and how you can have things. This is totally up to you how you want to build your dashboard and what you want to focus on. And last but not least, we're going to look at a dashboard for profitability indicators. Here we will see like a focused view on profitability and looking into margins in order to look for any margin leakages that may impact profitability and the bottom line of the business. So just looking here, we see the gross profit and the gross sales, just like one indicator. And then we see more indicator ratios, gross profit margin, operating, and net profit margin. We see discounts by month, by channel, because discounts, as we know, is one of the worst offenders to your margins. There is also a widget to show you gross margin. It shows you your target versus actual versus past year on monthly basis. So you can see what your margin is, what's your target, and what's your actual for this month, and what was your past year margin also for the same month. You can also have another one where you see a gross margin by channel, by target, and then margin heroes, who's your best reseller margins, best product achieving margins, and best sales achieving margin. So it's like a gross profit versus a gross sales. And last but not least is cost of goods breakdown. So all your costs that are contributing to your profitability and margin, what is the breakdown, and to allow you to track and see if you wanted to improve your margin by managing or controlling your cost, then which ones are actually that you can target. One thing I would like to repeat here again, all this data that we've seen in all these dashboards are all originating from Cincom CPQ. So just to show you the scope and the wide range of possibilities that you could actually get from leveraging the data that is originating in your CPQ system. Thank you very much for your attention, and back to you, Tarina.
Thank you, Rayed. Seeing just a few of the reporting possibilities is intriguing and top of mind for any decision maker. The combination of Cincom CPQ and Power BI can really provide the intel that a business needs. Whatever the industry, value from the data produced by CPQ is in action in many verticals. And here are a few verticals that Cincom CPQ works in regularly. Here we can see a number of logos and gives a visual of who is using Cincom systems. From earth movers to insurance carriers to specialty vehicle builders. We have all kinds of companies that are configuring products with CPQ and using other Cincom products. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on the value of business intelligence presented through Power BI. Should you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to Rayed or myself, or go on to cincom.com to find more information about CPQ. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tarina and Ryad, for that really informative presentation and demo on CPQ and the benefits of it. If you did have a question that you typed in, you can look forward to an individual response from someone from the Cincom team. And we did record today's event, and we'll be making that recording available as well. So with that, we're going to end it there. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.